Hello and welcome to The Print. I'm Aman, and in our great speeches series today, we turn to an address delivered by Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru at the Congress Parliamentary Party Meeting in August 1958. Nehru's speech came during widespread protests against the communist government in Kerala, led by EMS Namudripad. The agitation, which also witnessed demonstrations by a large number of students, was sparked by key legislative decisions by the state government involving education and land. The protests escalated into the liberation movement, or Vimochana Samuram, in early 1959 and witnessed several clashes as well as police firing on protesters. The turmoil eventually prompted the Nehru government at the center to dismiss the communist government in July 1959. In his 1958 speech, Nehru condemned police firing while also opposing violent demonstrations. We revisit his address in the wake of Delhi police's recent crackdown on student protesters at Jantar Mantar. Nehru began by describing the situation in Kerala as peculiarly horrible, suggesting that civil police shouldn't possess firearms. He said, I dislike firing intensely on anybody except when one is absolutely compelled to. I have even suggested, and some people have criticized me for it, that it would be a good thing that normally the civil police did not possess firearms at all, while the armed police possessed them, that too in an emergency. End quote. The Prime Minister criticized protests that lead to what he called a vicious circle of violence and police firing. He said, I'm entirely opposed to this type of demonstration, which is becoming rather common. I think it is very wrong. This demonstration, which leads to violence, destruction of property, injury to human beings, and firing, then after firing, a great deal of protest against the firing, further agitation on the basis of the firing, inquiry committees. It is all a vicious circle and go round and round, and it creates ill will and actually encourages the very wrong tendency that we want to discourage. Reiterating that civil police should be disarmed, Nehru said that protests often put policemen in a difficult position and that they have no option but to retaliate when surrounded by thousands of people. He said, the poor police are put in a very difficult position again and again. What is the poor policeman to do? Half a dozen policemen or 10 policemen surrounded by thousands of excited people throwing stones at them. Any average man retaliates and tries self protection. It may be a wrong thing to do. I would say it may be an unwise thing to do. But therefore, my sympathy is in such a position with the poor policeman who is surrounded on all sides by this kind of thing. But the fact is that the action taken does not end the trouble. It makes it increase. It makes it even worse. Nehru stressed that the incidents of violence in Kerala were a dangerous development and called for an independent and impartial probe. He said, some of the leaders of the Communist Party have said that I got one sided versions and was swept away. Well, I admit that many of the versions I have received were one sided in the sense that party men gave them, whether they were congressmen or PSP men or RSP men or other party men. But plenty of them came from people who were not politicians at all, who have nothing to do with politics. End quote. Nehru expressed his disappointment with the people of Kerala, saying they no longer promoted peace. He said, I said in Calcutta somewhere that the people of Kerala have been among the most peaceful of India. I do believe that, but they are no longer so. You see what we are seeing in Kerala. What I fear is developing is this violent technique of action, which is not even communism but something, it may be allied to communism some way, thoroughly bad, I think. End quote. Nehru stressed that while states had autonomy, the central government could not turn a blind eye to a situation like that in Kerala. He said, we do not wish to interfere in a state government and we have not thought of interfering in that way, constitutional way. But because states have autonomy and we respect that autonomy, that does not mean that the government of India can ignore everything that happens in the state. That is everything pertaining to the freedom and security of the individual. Thank you for joining us on Great Speeches. For more from The Print, become a subscriber at theprint.in/subscribe. I am Aman, Indian.